welcome back once again. We are on the final episode of this season of Symphogear. Well, let's just say things have gone a little haywire. The beast was unleashed. Hibiki going a bit feral. But thanks to the songs of those around her, the schools, the people that she's helped along the way, power of friendship and certain vibrations. They're back stronger than ever, and not just her. We've got Tsubasa and Chris, which of course kind of downplayed the whole self-sacrifice, but oh well. But what I would really like to do, see about fixing that moon, or is it going to stay cracked and separated forever? It's a bit far away. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do it. But still, the noise are not exactly going away anytime soon, although their control may be handed over to someone else. We don't know exactly Finney's plan anymore. So I guess let's just sit down, strap in, see what's going on for the final half hour. Fair enough, I wasn't expecting the quick shift of view into the moon. Having a quick look back at the Earth. But now they've been powered up through song. What now? Are they just, what? If you've done the job, you don't need to sing and help them any longer. And this is where they succinctly lose easily. So once the song is over, they're bedridden. The extent of their injuries will actually keep up with them. Yeah. Why with a sudden telepathy? Autonomous weapons created by mankind of old. So, how are they exactly created? How are they currently sustained? Are you currently the one that is setting them loose, though? What is the point of the telepathy? Is that the flare calling out more noise instantly? Oh. We're having a kaiju battle with the remnants of the city. Just do that from the beginning! You've coated the land in noise. Just do that from step fucking one. Instead of these small contingencies she set out into the city as a distraction before, do this. The sort of countless noise there were, that would keep them distracted and they wouldn't have come over to destroy the tower. And with their powers combined, they can surely do anything. Fair enough, that was a fairly effective punch, taking out two of the big ones instantly, but why would Finay call all of these things out, then let them just go and annihilate them? Just shotgun gauntlets. What's she moaning about not having a weapon for? The power of the song has really upgraded their capabilities. Are they gonna combine? I feel like they just caused more destruction than the noise did. And they left her to her own devices, even with her healing. Usually it's the other way round. The devices combine with you, not the flesh combines with the device. Calling the noise upon herself? Which in turn calling more beacons, having them, all the rest of them. So went from armor and potentially strong-looking warrior to amorphous blob. Not even to like an Ava angel. Okay. At least she's been putting on more clothing. And countermeasures for all of them, having shielding from ranged attacks, self-healing to that regard. They're going to have to keep chiseling away. With a real relic in her possession, what can they really do now? Keep off the channel. So telepathy can now be altered to only be on certain frequencies. Just say yeah. Believe they can do it. So, in the legends of old, what does it say about taking them down? Chris has a far bigger hitbox than the rest of them, considering her... Well, now you've got the sword, maybe not, but considering her little air gear. And now, while the gap is open... And while she is distracted with the two of them... What's... Oh. She's there to take hold of the... What? You're juggling it through the sky with various projectiles. There's the inversion and color shift. Can she retain herself is the main question. They're going to continue to help. Well, you can do that with in safety, at least. There's speakers which kind of got through before, but she doesn't exactly have power of armor like Tsubasa did, so. Hopefully the distraction they're providing there doesn't actually harm her efforts at overcoming the madness. Well, it's flickering. But to have a power source like that, which is meant to override your own decision making and the like, for her to be able to pull through to a certain regard. A voice cutting through the darkness. Screw everyone else that was just attempting to help her. It was the one friend that kind of almost abandoned her at one point. It's a bit bright. Who'd have thought that giving into despair and resentment wasn't the way forward? There's only so much that can be regenerated. Maybe if she's... Well, everyone that came out of the shelter's dead. Maybe being reduced to the atomic level actually stops them from repairing. Seriously. Even someone that has killed countless people. And even if the mind of the one that she knew before is no longer there, no, I'm not giving you your name. I mean, people being people, what can you really expect? People fight for the smallest of things. There's small differences in culture and land. She wasn't raising it in a bid to keep fighting. The few words spouted by an idealistic little high schooler, that's what wins the war. I mean, it's still going. You've got a while before it would hit the moon. Apparently she can go several 100,000 miles pretty quickly. Well, now because you've let her just stand around and try to speak sense to her, you've allowed the moon to start falling. Well, it's a segment of it. Will it now? I mean, wasn't it only meant to be in actual descendants? Is she about to be... Wait for it. wherever, whenever your next life will be. They'll be waiting to stop her once again should she turn. Overcome past failures, both in plans and in humanity. Knowing that she may not overcome this personally, if she is eternal. Maybe it would change the trajectory of her plans in the future should she be reborn. Well, that solves that. Now, getting back to the moon. You can understand why Chris might be a bit more affected considering the time that was spent together with her. They'll just have to find a way of intercepting it. Yeah, it's only a few continents in size. What's the issue? Oh dear. If you didn't have that last sentence, maybe I would have believed you. I would like to know a little bit more about the colour shifts and hue differences. I know it was mentioned a few times that somewhere down the line it might actually be explained a little. Baseball. And charging herself right into this fragment of the moon, if not to destroy it entirely, to divert it away from its current path. Well, why leave it to her to do herself? We've had the power of friendship go through and they've intertwined and combined and helped each other before. Now, I get it, they're enjoying themselves up to the final event of the moon, but what is the actual plan here? Good thing they can sing and think separately, but able to have a telepathic conversation while singing. I can barely think about what I'm speaking about most of the time, let alone do something else. Combining all of their experiences together, their hope for the future, their reason to keep fighting. You could try to overcome any obstacle. Just remember there's still relics out there which can cause any sort of issues. Of course, if they do sing their, I guess they got a bit more space to go super size out here, but okay. It might be difficult just finding them some medical attention while they're out in the upper stratosphere. Congratulations, the moon's still fucked. Well, fragments of the moon burning up in the atmosphere as they're falling through it. But yeah, shooting stars, go for it. We saw the quick barrier type thing appear for a brief moment before the impact, so was that just to stop any extensive damage down their way? At the fragments of the room falling through. There's a memorial, nothing more. The budget should be revised. We saw her visiting this right at the beginning of it. And of course, yeah, leaving it until late at episode 13. What was that? But of course, even as well, the noise don't relent, do they? Congratulations on trying to recover some insurance from it, but that car is done for. They caught up pretty quickly. I'm not sure what your plan is here, since you can't feasibly actually respond to them in any sense. In a moment of peril, I'm sorry, I'm not really dead. It's just one of those things I had to keep from you. I hope you don't mind. You know, you were mad when I couldn't go get pancakes, but, you know, telling you I'm alive, yeah, nah, you can just look over that part. Fucking hell. So, yeah, I'm trying not to say anything negative there, but there was no stakes at all. Canada was the only one that was actually had an issue with all of this. Of course, having them survive a final encounter with the moon and come out of it, sure, it makes sense why they want to keep that a bit under wraps, lest other governments or agencies start to look in, especially since there'd be eyes all over them at the minute. Good thing they were nearby, though. Were they just waiting for the perfect opportunity to step out and say, oh, by the way, we are here, but we've got to find a way where it would make it seem natural for the reveal? And considering her ethics and getting involved in all of these things, and the times she's put herself in danger with no actual feasible way of fighting back, I think that friend, that girl, would be pretty decent as part of their ranks. The idea that, once again, the big bad in this episode, while taken down temporarily, since it lives within the DNA and can be awoken just with another song and resonance later down the line, let's hope that the memories here do get passed on. Not entirely sure how, but let's go with it. So there'd be a saviour down the line that would hopefully inhabit this Hibiki and Co.'s sense of justice and hope in humanity in the future. It would have been nice, though, if we actually got a better bit of understanding, well, explanation, I guess, of the noise. Oh, are you controlling the noise? Well, humans created them in eons past. Well, yeah, cool, but that's not what we're asking. Are you controlling them? Are you currently the one possessing the ability to control and coordinate the noise? If not, we have a bigger problem. Who's sending them out there, then? And considering Finney is now disintegrated and snapped out of existence, the noise is still an existential threat out there for every normal human without the power to defend themselves. So, it's quite a clean-up operation to go. That's saying nothing without the complete rebuilding of the city after the last section of damage that has been occurred to it. How many more relics are out there? They're going to continue the search and more research into effects, drawing out their power. Granted, now there's not some undercurrent of someone sapping away resources to build a giant tower to take out the moon. That's at least slightly better. Although I don't think they'll be able to continue their operations as per usual now that this has all transpired. We saw a bit about funding decrease. I can't remember if that... Well, actually, I didn't know that. I can't remember. Wasn't able to read whether or not that was to their department specifically or just overall. Other nations around the world have definitely got a bit of interest into what the fuck just happened with the moon. But yeah, hopefully my disappointment wasn't too overstated. The fact is, okay, no one at any point during this show, apart from Canada and a few side characters and nameless, really suffered any consequences from all of the damage. The main ones just, at the look of their defeat and possible deaths, trip to hospital, quick little song, good as new. I hope the stakes are definitely raised for future series, because I just have to temper my expectations. Now it's just a feel good, happy, it doesn't matter, everything will get on fine. If I go ahead with that expectation, then so be it. But that's not what I thought going in. Not with the setup they were trying to do. But on a good note, at least that woman with the car at the end of the episode doesn't have to worry about insurance, because she'll be getting a hefty payoff to make sure she doesn't speak about Hibiki, Tsubasa, Chris, or the organisation at all. Seeing all three of them alive there and being like, I wonder exactly how much should be paid. More than enough for me to never mention it again, at least. But overall, I think Symphogear was an interesting show. This season has set a few things up, explained not a lot of it, but enough to just get you through, while still holding a bit of intrigue as to what else there is. I would have liked it just to delve a little into the noise, to say a bit more what it actually is, rather than just they're weapons of war from long ago. Yeah, cool, but at what point did humans have this technology to create the noise, these autonomous little battle things that turn people into carbon dust? Going forward, now that everyone is back and raring to go, having Chris brought on board, it should be for a entertaining little band of warriors there fighting on. Who's going to be the next one to kick up trouble? I know there's a few more series of Symphogear. I have them all downloaded. I wonder what evil plans are going to be attempted next. And whether or not they'll be slightly more successful. Finay almost, at least, did something there. She did end up leaving a giant crevice out of the moon. So, that's a lasting impact, at least. If you've enjoyed Symphogear, let me know. If you want to make sure to keep up with future episodes and never actually miss any coming forward, should I go immediately into Symphogear or maybe catch up on something else first? I haven't quite decided yet. I'll leave that up to you. If you're really, really eager to see more, let me know down below. If not, we'll see. Consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed me talking about it. Maybe join onto my Discord. But ultimately, get yourselves a bit of rest so that I can see you in the next one. If you would like to join the driving force behind my moon excursion, consider joining onto my Patreon, because helping the channel is a damn sight easier than any extra atmospheric activities. So I really do need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Trayvon, Jiwan, Akane, Guado, Tori Jane, Kite, Light Wizard 91, Mega 42, Diego Zenhausen, SZ 9870, Croyville, and everyone else for joining along with me on this journey and helping to provide the words of caution, wisdom, and friendship when it's needed.